So hello everyone, welcome to today's little core strengthening session. All you will need is your mat, maybe a blanket close by in case you want to put that underneath your head. Like last week, we have mild options which are more suitable if you have lower back sensitivity or you're working with any disc issues. Medium options, which are great if you want to start getting a little bit of a challenge and start to feel the muscles working a little more. And then the spicy variations for those of you who have been practicing, maybe it's yoga for a while or Pilates for a while, or if you really want to move into that sort of next level of challenge. So as always, take it easy if you need to. Take a break when you need to, and keep your breath as the priority. So we really want to keep the breath flowing throughout. And we're actually going to start standing today and do a few roll downs. So if you bring yourself up just to standing with the feet hip width apart, little bend in your knees, rolling the shoulders up, back, and down. We take an inhale, breathing up into the chest. As you exhale, drop the chin down. Let the shoulders round forward, bend your knees, and then just lightly lift the belly as you roll yourself forward. At the bottom, you inhale and soften the knees, and then lift the tummy and start rolling yourself up. Restacking lower, middle, and upper back. At the top, we roll the shoulders up, back and down, palms facing forward. Inhale, standing tall. Exhale, belly in, bend the knees, start to roll yourself forward, arms are heavy. We roll down through the upper, middle, and in the lower spine, breathing in, knees soften. Lift the tummy, exhale, roll yourself up. So if you need to at any stage, you put the hands on the thighs for a bit of support for your back if you need it. Otherwise, arms are relaxing down, head is heavy, so like a rag doll, coming all the way forward. Rolling up, belly in, starting to squeeze your glutes about 3/4 of the way up. Help open the front of the pelvis. Couple more rolls like this, breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, really drawing that navel to spine as you roll up to standing. It's just creating a bit of heat in the body, warming us up. And this time as we roll down, we're going to stay here for a moment, bending the knees, holding on to opposite elbow, and just giving ourselves a little bit of a sway from side to side, keeping the knees soft, the head heavy, shoulders relaxed. And then just turning yourself towards your mat, walking the hands out in front and coming into a downward facing dog. Just to stretch out the backs of the legs a little bit, pedaling the heels down. And then just taking a moment here, softness in the elbows, pushing the hands down and forward into your mat. Knees can be soft if you need to. Take a breath in. Exhale, navel to spine. Really find that internal lift. Inhale. Exhale through the mouth, belly draws in. And last 4 out here, breathing in. Breathing out. And then inhale, float high onto the balls of the feet. Exhale to bring the knees down. So we're on hands and knees here, 4-point kneeling. And just taking a moment to flatten out the spine. So we want to pull the belly, pull the front ribs into the body. So we're not rounding, we're not here in a cat pose. We're in a neutral spine, but making sure that we're not collapsing the chest and the belly down to the floor. So So we've just got that little bit of lift protecting our lower back. We're going to take an inhale here. Tuck the toes under, look straight down between your hands. As you exhale around your spine, lift the knees just off the floor. Inhale down. Neutral spine, exhale. Lifting the knees. And just taking a couple of rounds. Inhale. Exhale. Really lifting the belly in firmly. Every time you draw the knees up away from the mat, and it's just enough to slide a piece of paper in underneath the knees. So it's not a big lift. If we lift them too high, it becomes really easy. We lose that challenge. We don't have to engage any muscles. So keep it going here, last 3. Pushing the hands into the floor so shoulder stabilizers working. 2. Last inhale and exhale. 3. Come onto the tops of the feet. Just ease yourself back into a lovely child's pose here. Counting down the breath. And just softening your shoulders. So this is your resting pose. At any time you need it, you can come in here. And just use it to catch the breath. Let's take 2 more rounds. Inhale. And exhale. 1 final breath. And then breathing in. Coming back up to the hands and the knees. So, staying with the tops of the feet on the floor this time. We'll go for some opposite arm and leg. So I usually say to imagine a cup of tea balancing on your back, but it's really helpful if you pop something on your back. So you don't have to imagine it, you actually have something there that you need to keep in place. So it can be anything, it can be a book. I won't go for anything fragile, but go for something that can fall if it does fall. And it's just there to remind us to pull up through the belly and the front ribs, keeping the back flat, but also to help us think about really stabilizing as we extend right arm forward and left leg back. So if we go too high with the arm and the leg, we destabilize our spine. We'll probably drop whatever object we have on the back. So opposite arm and leg, keep reaching in through the fingertips and the toes. See if you can find even more length, like someone's pulling you in 2 different directions. Inhale, exhale, slide the hand and knee back to the floor. Inhale, changing sides, left arm, right leg. Again, go for length. The beautiful thing about going for length rather than height is that all the muscles of the arm, shoulder, all the muscles of the legs and hips engage. So you actually get better engagement. Exhale, hand and knee back down. Take a full breath. Draw the belly in. Flatten out that lower back and then start to move with your breath. Inhaling to reach and lengthen. Exhaling, hand and knee back to the mat. So we move with our breath. Nice and slowly. Really drawing navel to spine. Stabilizing the whole time. Minimizing the movement in your body. We've got 4 more. And 3. Last 2. The last one. And then returning to the hands and knees. If you manage to keep your book on your back the whole time, well done. You can slide that off now. We won't need that for this next one. So just give yourself a moment to sit hips back to the heels. Give the wrist a little bit of a roll out. We will be doing a couple more exercises on the hands. So feel free if you need to come onto fists, or if you need to take monkey fists, which is just thumbs out in front for a little bit of balance. Rolling out the wrist between will just help. So we're going to come back to hands and knees. Taking a moment there. So we've done our opposite arm and leg on all fours. So same principles apply for this next one. Hands are coming down. We're going to keep the right leg where it is, extend the left leg back behind us. Toes on the floor so that we can pull up through the belly, lengthen the spine, and then lift with the glutes instead. So when we lift the leg, we're trying not to dip at the lower back to lift the leg. We're trying to pull up through the belly and lift with the buttock instead. Inhale, reaching back through those toes. Exhale, draw that left knee towards your left elbow or tricep if you can get it a little higher. Inhale, send that leg back behind you. Exhale, draw up, knee towards your nose, rounding, pushing the floor away. Inhale, extend back. Exhale this time, left knee to right elbow across the body. Inhale, extending back. Exhale, the knee down. Changing sides, breathing and extend right leg back. Exhale, right knee to right tricep. Squeezing the heel up to your bum. Inhale, send that leg back. Exhale, knee towards your nose, round, push the floor away. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, right knee to left elbow, coming into a little bit of a twist. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, knee to the floor. So this is your mild variation with hands and knees down on the mat. We're gonna go through this a couple more times, and it's absolutely fine if you want to do all of those reps in this first variation, so sticking with your mild variation. Medium variation, we lift into downward facing dog. So float the knees up. Find your downward dog first. We're going to float our right leg. Actually, let's start with left. We did left on the other side, so let's do left here. Floating that left leg up. So you're either on hands and knees or in downward dog with me. And we're all exhaling that left knee towards left tricep. In our downward dog, we come forward to plank, and then we inhale to lift back up. And then we're all exhaling left knee towards the nose. Inhaling to scoop it up. Exhaling left knee to right elbow. So there's a little bit of a twist. Drop that left hip. Inhale that leg up. And exhale that foot down. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in. Send that right leg up to the sky. Exhale that knee towards the right tricep. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, knee to nose. Breathing in, send it up high. Exhale, right knee to left elbow. Inhale, send it all the way up. Exhale, take that right foot down. Let's all meet in child's pose. So use this time here to roll out your wrist, to slow the breath down. Last 2 breaths here. Resting your body. And then slowly roll yourself up. So we have one last round to go. So we're doing the 3 to the left, the 3 to the right. Tricep, nose, other tricep. So stick with hands and knees variation, that very first one we did. Stick with our medium variation from downward facing dog. Or if you want to up your challenge, we're doing it from plank. So this is our spicy variation. Again, I would only go for this if you were fairly comfortable in that second variation. And if generally you're quite comfortable with planks. So we're all going to start, so whether you're kneeling in downward dog or coming into plank with me, we'll all begin together. So from hands and knees, either staying here, lifting into downward dog, or extending the legs back into plank. If you're in plank, make sure hips aren't too high, make sure hips aren't too low. Pick them up so you feel lifted, hips and shoulders roughly same level. Pick the left foot up, inhale, exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, send it back. One more time, exhale across the body. And step it back to plank, take a breath. Exhale. Breathing and lift that right leg, wherever you are. Exhale, knee to tricep. Inhale, extend that leg back. Exhale, knee to nose. Breathing and send it back, keep the hips level. Exhale across the body. Inhale, step it back. Let's all place the knees down. Sit back into child's pose. Rest. Nice deep breaths here, just calming down the heart rate. Interlace the hands, roll out your wrists. And then slowly roll yourself up to sitting. Give your shoulders a little bit of a roll. Give the hands a bit of a shake. So that's our kneeling and compression variations done. Really hard to do those planks and talk at the same time. So I'll catch my breath in a moment. We will slowly make our way down onto the mat with a little roll down variation. So again, ways that we can modify this. Let's do a couple all together with the most mild variation, just to get used to the movement. So soles of the feet are on the floor, hands behind the thighs. We inhale to sit nice and tall with a flat back. Exhale, we pull the tummy in and find a C curve, so we're rounding the spine. Then we're rolling down nice and slowly, one segment of the spine after another. Try not to collapse onto the mat. Reaching the arms up overhead. And then exhale, one knee at a time into the chest. Hands behind the thighs, inhale. Exhale, little rock back up. Coming right up onto the sit bones, lifting the chest, finding that straight back, so we're lifting lower back up out of the pelvis. So this is your mild variation. Supporting the whole way, rolling back up to sitting. Medium variation, feet stay where they are, arms float up at shoulder height. Try it with me if you like, or sit to that mild variation. Belly draws in, and we start to roll back. So again, we are resisting the floor, resisting gravity, resisting that urge to collapse onto the mat. Roll down. Once the shoulder blades and head release, we reach the arms up overhead. We're going to straighten out the legs for a moment for a full body stretch. And then as we exhale, we hug the knees in. Take the fingertips behind the thighs, roll ourselves up. This time try and keep the feet lifted as you straighten your back. And then place the feet down, ready for your next round. So that is your medium variation. Alright, spicy variation. Only if there's no problems with the back and if those variations felt quite accessible for you. So stick with one of those first two, or join me here. Legs straight out in front, toes pointed, legs drawing together. Inhale, reach the arms forward. As you exhale, tuck the tailbone. Same movement, same C curve in the spine, belly drawing in strongly, and we are resisting the mat the whole way down. Try and put those brakes on. And then once you release shoulder blades and head down, Reach the arms up overhead. Take a breath. Exhale. If you're modifying, hug the knees into the chest. If you're with me, fingertips up to the sky. Peel the head, peel the shoulders up, and then exhale to continue that roll up. So the feet stay on the ground, and it's a nice smooth movement. Then we inhale, we sit tall. Exhale here. Inhale again. Sitting tall, one of those 3 variations. All have the movement in common. It's rolling down in a slow, steady manner. You should really be pulling the tummy in here, not pushing the abdominals out, but drawing back. Rolling slowly onto your mat, and then floating the arms up overhead. Taking a breath. Exhaling. Fingertips reaching up to the sky. Head lifts up. Shoulder blades lift up off the floor, and then we exhale to roll up the rest of the way. Let's all reach the arms up to the sky, slide the legs out in front, and all hinge forward into a seated forward fold for a moment. Full breath, inhale. Exhale, soften. Breathe in, lifting yourself up. Bend the knees in. And then hold behind the thighs. So the same starting position as our mild variation, but different exercise now. Belly draws in and up. Lift the feet, one up off the floor, other up off the floor. Navasana, our boat pose. All right, the holding here. Variation 1. Medium variation, arms released, legs parallel to the ceiling. Variation 3, our full boat pose with the legs straight. If you want to add a little bit of fire, arms reaching up on the same angle as the legs. Go for length, wrap the muscles around the bones of the legs. We're holding here for 3. Keep breathing. For 2. Last inhale. As you exhale, hands back behind the thighs, plant the soles of the feet to the floor, lift the chest, let the knees open, and then just hinge forward for a moment. Stretching out your back. Inhale here. Exhale, release, sitting up tall, lifting up and out of your lower spine. Take the hands behind the thighs, float the feet up away from the mat. So, actually mild variation, we're going to do this with feet down. So again, I'll demo mild variation first, so you can modify if you need to. We're all going to hold on to the backs of the legs, roll back. Once your arms are straight, that's where you stop, you're pulling your tummy in. So try not to rely too heavily on the hands. Exhaling to roll up, finding a straight back. Exhale, roll back. Inhale up. So continuing here, if you are modifying your movements today. Next variation from Navasana, we inhale. Exhale to roll back, keeping our legs where they are. Inhale to lift up, trying to lift the chest and straighten the spine. Exhale, rolling back. So we're holding the legs. Couple more, staying with this variation or joining me for the spicy variation. Rolling back, once hands are level with the knees, hold. Lift back up. 2 more wherever you are. Breathing and rolling back. Breathing out, come all the way up. This time we roll ourselves back, and we're going to keep rolling. We're going to keep rolling all the way down onto the back, folding the knees into the chest, and just giving ourselves this gentle roll from side to side. Massaging out the spine. Inhaling and exhaling there. Final round of breath. And then releasing. Setting the soles of the feet down onto the floor, about hip width apart. And you can see my heels aren't too close in towards my buttocks. The heels or the ankles are directly underneath my knees, just to give me a bit of space in the back of the knee joint. I'm going to bring my head down and rest with my arms at the sides of my body. I'm curling the tailbone underneath, so my lower back is flat to the floor. My midsection is drawing in and up, almost as though I want my belly button to disappear up underneath these front ribs. From here, with the belly already activated, I'm bringing my right leg into tabletop. I'm getting lighter on my left foot and then drawing that left leg into tabletop. So shins are parallel to the ceiling, knees are directly over the hips. So what happens with tabletop is that we start to lift those feet up and pull the knees in. So we're not actually working at all, really. We can go floppy and the legs will stay where they are. So make sure that your thighs are moving away from your face and your shins are parallel to the ceiling or to the floor. So it should feel like work to be here. And then we're slowly going to take that right foot down to the floor, just landing it lightly. So not clumping down, we're not putting all our weight down through it. And then that left leg down onto the mat. I'm still switched on through my core. I haven't switched it off. Still got the belly drawing in. And then we're going to bring left leg to tabletop. Start getting lighter on your right foot. Peel the heel up and then float up tabletop. And then placing that left foot lightly to the floor. And then right foot lightly to the floor. Supporting just with your core. We've got one more leading with each side. Right leg up. Left leg up. Keep breathing. Belly in. Lower back to the floor. And then placing that left foot down. And then right foot down. Last round. Left foot lifts. Tabletop. Right leg lifts. Tabletop. And then right foot down. And left foot down. This time you can relax. So the body weight drops down through the feet. The tummy switches off. We take 3 deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last full round here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Give your knees a little bit of a sway from side to side. That gentle window wipe movement. And then come back to center. We're going to add on to our tabletop. So start by curling the tailbone underneath, really pulling the navel to the spine. Float your right leg up tabletop. Belly will engage even more. Left leg up tabletop. So always come in one leg at a time. Watch that the knees aren't creeping to your face. This isn't tabletop. This is tabletop. Legs moving away from your face. Interlace the hands behind the head. Keeping your elbows wide, but in your peripheral vision. Lower back is still on the floor. We're going to inhale. Exhale, lifting up. Just onto the tips of the shoulder blades. Inhale, spurring the arms alongside your body. Exhale, hands back behind the head. Release the head down, breathing in. Exhale, head lifts. Arms reach alongside the body. Take the hands back behind the head. And then exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Curling up. Breathing and reaching the hands alongside the body. And then taking the hands back behind the head. Inhale. Exhale, release. 2 more. Inhale. Breathe out, lift. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hands back behind the head. Lower down. Inhale. Exhale, lift and reach. Take the hands back behind the head. Slowly release down. Take the right foot onto the floor, left foot onto the floor. Relax for a moment with the hands behind the head. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then keeping your back in a neutral position. So that means instead of bringing the lower back to the floor and tucking the tailbone, we keep the tailbone heavy into the floor. We keep that little gap between the lower back and the mat, and we just engage the belly. So we just draw that abdominal wall back, like we want the belly button to not only move back and touch the spine, but to move up as well. So scooping in and up. And then from there, we're going to inhale. As we exhale, we lift up center, head and chest. And then we reach right hand to the outside of the left leg. We push the hand into the leg into the hand. Inhale, come back to center. Stay lifted. Exhale, left hand to the right leg. So you're lifting that left shoulder blade up off the floor. Pressing the hand into the thigh, thigh into the hand. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Breathing in. Keep that going. So you want to make sure that your legs and hips stay level. So it's just a movement in the upper body. And in fact, one shoulder blade is down while the other is lifted as we reach. So it's just like you're rolling. Ladies, from one side of the bra strap to another. Gentlemen, from one shoulder blade to another. Keep breathing. Exhaling as you reach. Drawing back the abdominal wall as we breathe out means that we get a better engagement. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last inhale. Exhale, reach. Hands back behind the head, lift up center, elbows wide, and pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the head down onto the floor. Reach your arms all the way up overhead and then stretch out your legs. Breathe up into your belly. Just taking a couple of breaths here to stretch out the muscles in the front of the body and give yourself a bit of a break and a chance to slow the breath back down. Breathing in and breathing out. And then slowly hugging one knee in, other knee in, giving yourself a little rock from side to side on your back. And for this next variation, knees are going to stay hugged into the body. They're staying hugged into the chest. We are reaching the heels up towards the sky. So the legs don't have to be straight. If the hamstrings are a little bit tighter, your knees might bend a little bit. That's okay. We're just trying to align our ankles over the hips. So whether knees are bent or whether your legs are straight, just depends on hamstring length. Arms coming in at the sides. We're tucking them in underneath the body. This is our mild variation. We all want to relax the shoulders, relax the neck and face. Scoot the belly in, navel down to the spine. As you inhale, start to lower that right leg down. Maybe it's just a few inches. Maybe it's halfway. Maybe it hovers just off the floor. You're checking to see whether your lower back is still on the mat. If it's not, you've gone too low with the leg. As you breathe out, scoot that leg back up to the sky. Inhale, left leg drops. Again, you choose how low. It may not be to where I'm going. Exhale, you might just go a few inches. That might be enough for you to work the belly, but also keep the lower back down. That's what it's all about. Next variation is fingertips. Just resting behind the head. So your elbows would be wider than mine. I just can't drop my right elbow down with the window being right there. But head down, belly in, lower back not leaving the floor. We're still trying to relax the face and the neck. Your spicy variation If you're still with me and want to add on, is to lift the head and the shoulder blades away from the floor. So we're curling up, we're leaving space below the chin for our fist. So if we're lifting and bringing the chin in too close, it means we're overstretching the back of the neck. So the head is dropping back and we're opening the throat too much. It means we're compressing the neck. So we want a nice neutral position. And then we lower right leg down. So with your mild, medium or spicy variation, keep going. If you're with me, spicy variation, we change midway. So it's more of a scissor movement with the legs rather than floating one at a time. And we're all going to count 5 more deep breaths. No matter what variation you're working with, 5 of your own breaths. Once you've done your 5 and you exhale, then you hug the knees into your chest, wrap the arms around the shins and give yourself this lovely release, rocking from side to side. Taking deep breaths. All right, coming back to center into our last few core strengtheners here. So we're going to do a little bit of work from tabletop again. So we're quite familiar with our tabletop. Start with the feet down on the floor, hip width apart. Lift the pelvis up, tuck your tailbone underneath, and then place your lower back and pelvis down. Keep them on the floor, so activating through your midsection. Bring the right leg to tabletop, left leg to tabletop. Arms resting at the sides of the bodies, shoulders switched off. And then we're keeping this 90-degree angle in the back of the knee and doing some toe taps. So it's a hinging movement from the hip. You can see I haven't changed the angle of my knee. I'm keeping my lower back on the floor. So again, your toes might just move a few inches and then back in. Or might be halfway down and then back in. Or you might be able to tap the toes lightly to the floor and then breathe out. So it's not this movement. We're not straightening the leg and then coming back in. And we're not closing the knee. So it's not this movement either. We keep the leg so exactly as it is and move from the hip. Move from in here. So if you had Barbie dolls as a kid, you can never bend Barbie's knees, well, not the ones I had anyway, but she could swing her leg from the hip. That's the same movement here. We're embodying, where was that, 1990s Barbie. So keep that going. And then if you want to add on from there, we just add opposite arm. So make sure you get the legs first. Legs is the most important. Lower back on the floor. And I'm going to ask you to keep breathing with all of that to think about as well. Breathing in, reaching opposite arm and leg. Breathing out. Inhale. Exhale. So it feels like the toes are actually reaching a little bit further away, and that prevents any bending or movement at the knee joint. We've got 2 more to each side to do. Whether you're just doing the arms or whether you're doing the legs as well, up to you. And then finishing with this final round. Exhaling to hug the knees in, to give yourself a proper roll out there. So imagine that you are drawing circles with your lower back on the floor. The legs stay together and you just roll around the lower back. Soften your belly, tune into some slightly deeper breathing. And then changing direction of those circles if you haven't already. And then bringing yourself back to center. Shift both hands onto the right shin, hand interlaced. Drop those left toes to the floor, keeping your lower back on the mat, and slide that left leg out. So it's just lightly resting on the floor. We haven't just let it go floppy, we're engaging. Exhale, slide it back in. Change sides, hands onto the shin, right leg reaching out. Slide right leg back in, change. With your breath, exhale back in. Change, inhale. Exhale. Keep that going. This is your mild variation. If you would like to step it up a little more, it's that medium variation. Then we start to float the extended leg off the mat. Not only that, we change mid-air. So instead of waiting for that other knee to draw up into the chest before we extend the other leg, we change mid-air. A bit more work for the core to get the lower back on the floor. Final variation, of course, head and shoulder blades lifting up away from the floor. So all that's touching is my lower rib cage. My shoulder blades are off completely. I could slide a hand in underneath my upper back. I'm also pushing my knee into the hands to try and lift up a little bit higher. Keep going here. We've got 4 and 3. Last 2. Last 1. Hug both knees back into your chest. Turn the head from side to side a couple of times. And then place the hands just into the backs of the knees. Give yourself a little rock to come on up to sitting. Bring yourself around into a cross-leg position. You might want to place a blanket underneath the sit bones, up to you whether you need that height or whether you're happy just sitting on your mat. Take the fingertips down by the sides of the body, lift the chest, and then as you walk the hands forward, we just start to round the spine over a little bit. So you might be sitting up a little higher, fine if you stay here. Also fine if the ground is within reach and you want to drop down onto your forearms. We're just giving ourselves a few breaths here. Easing into the glutes, finding softness in the belly. Gentle stretch to boost blood flow around the lower back and the pelvis. Slowly walking the hands back in. Take your right hand onto the mat next to your hip. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, side stretch. Breathing space into that left side of your body. Exhale here. Inhale, float that top arm up. Exhale, left hand down, right arm reaching. Exhale, up and over, side stretch to the left. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, floating all the way up, and exhaling to release. Changing the cross on the leg, so just bringing the other shin in front. Taking the fingertips down either side of your body. Inhale to sit tall. Exhale, walking the arms forward. Folding over. Breathing there, just nice deep breaths to release the hips. Inhale. Exhale, walking the hands back up. Take a breath in, lift the arms up high. Exhale, twisting over to your right, left hand on that leg. Breathing in here, sitting taller. Exhale to twist. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, twisting over to the left. Breathing in. Breathing out. Coming back to center, raising the arms all the way up. Close the eyes, exhale, hands down in front of the chest. 2 more breaths like this. Inhale, raise the arms out and up. Exhale, hands back down through the center. Final time, breathing in. Exhale, releasing completely. Hands back to the thighs. Just give yourself 3 deep breaths here, sitting still. Inhale. Exhale. Last full round of breath. And then blinking the eyes open. Give yourself a big pat on the back. Well done, everyone. Lovely to have you. If you have any questions, feel free to pop us an email or a message. Hope you have a beautiful afternoon, and I will see you all very soon. Thank you. Bye.